Radio Times does gaming.
GTA 6 has been delayed until the 19th of November, but guess what, Alex? There's plenty other games coming out.
So I've heard.
And guess what? We've actually already played a bunch of them and spoken to a bunch of the developers.
We have?
We have. Remember? Wow. You've got to remember. No, we have. We've got so many great games coming up throughout the year to see people through. I do think, like, if someone was, like, thinking of buying, like, a PlayStation to play GTA and now they're holding off, I might say you can buy one anyway. There's lots of other games coming out.
There are lots of other games coming out.
Get in the ecosystem.
2026 is not holding back on the games that are coming out next year.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, obviously GTA was originally meant to come in 25, I think was the first date they said. And so I think all of these games maybe thought they were dodging GTA by being in 2026, but now...
Yeah, no dice.
No dice. But there's plenty of months before November. But yeah, there's a lot more than GTA. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Let's jump into one of these interviews, shall we?
I think we shall.
All right then, let's go.
Radio Times does gaming.
Well, we're here at the Xbox booth for High on Life 2. I was wondering when, kind of in relation to the first game coming out and the DLC coming out, when did you know we're doing a second one where you can start thinking ahead? Like,
oh, for sure. Pretty much immediately. You know, Mikey, our CCO and art director, he's basically had the franchise in his head a really, really long time. And so, you know, the DLC was kind of our in-between, and we were already thinking about, okay, you know, where are we going in the second one? And actually, we used the power slide a lot more in the DLC, and that was an early iteration, basically, of our skateboard tech.
Yeah, the skateboard is super cool. What was like the motivation of wanting to get that in there?
You know, a lot of the team is, you know, I think Mikey was a skateboarder. We have a lot of animators that are skateboarders. And just like, you know, it's such a fluid movement and it really fits with the aesthetic and the feeling of our game. And, you know, our designers are really focused on the traversal. You know, our design director, Eric Meyer, he worked on Sunset Overdrive. So you know, very flowy, like flow state combat and traversal. And so he's been doing a lot of work on the skateboard in order to do that as well. So like, you know, the sort of pillars of the game are obviously the comedy, the combat, and then our traversal. And so we really try to spend a lot of time on those things and have built a lot of our hubs and levels to almost feel like giant skate parks.
Nice. And I was thinking, like, while I was playing it, I was like, because it's quite, you know, a game that kind of goes out of its way to kind of subvert expectations. It's nice, like, even walking around, you don't have to walk around if you don't want to. You can skate
Absolutely,
around.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's... we've made a ton of different iterations, and, you know, I would say in the last 6 months, the team was like, what if it just replaces Sprint? And as soon as that happened, it like all unlocked. I was like, oh yeah, it's just Sprint, you know?
Awesome. And was there anything else, like learnings from the first game or things you were like, oh, we can't do this yet, but we can do it in the next one maybe?
100%. You know, when you're doing a new thing, so much of it is like, what is this? And then at the end, you're like, oh my God, I have like a week left, you know? And like everything is cramming.
Yeah.
But on this game, you know, we knew some of the reviews and everything were like, hey, your enemy variety is like a little low. So we really doubled up on that. I mean, maybe unfortunately tripled up or quadrupled up. There are a lot of enemies in this game, but they're super rad. We also wanted to add more guns because I think the combinatorics between all the weapons, not just for combat, but for puzzles, right? All of our guns have a primary, secondary, and ability fire. And ability, you know, you can really swap and kind of like, the designers can like tease a player's brain with it. And so we wanted to get a little more complicated there. We didn't have time. And then the other thing that we wanted to do is we had some side content in the first game, but really like, you know, it was a little hidden away. But with comedy, it's like we want to be able to find fun and surprising things all over the world. So we really doubled down on the side content in this one too.
Nice. And you mentioned new guns in there. I've just played the demo where you get to meet Ralph Ineson's new gun. I forget the name. Sheath,
yes.
Yeah. I don't forget the name.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it. It's in there. Talk to me about the ideation behind that character. Why is he the right voice for it, and kind of the whole thing basically?
For sure. So I mean, we all love The Witch. Is like an amazing movie. I've never seen. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna swear here. I've never seen a movie where someone was like got up and was like, what the, you know, like it just expletive at the end. I was like, wow, this really made an impression on people. But obviously an amazing actor, iconic voice. You know, so we've sort of gotten into the habit now that we've like been approaching a lot of different actors and talent of like, can't hurt to ask, right? You know, and all you got to do is chat and negotiate and make sure that you're taking care of everybody. And so, that was in terms of the actual actor themselves. In terms of the actual weapon, we really wanted like one of Mikey's favorite games is Halo.
Yeah.
So like, how do we get a battle rifle into this game, right? And so it's iterate a lot. Like, it's my favorite weapon to play as. I really love it.
Yeah.
And then one of the real joys of Gamescom this year is we're watching everybody use the spike ability, where you can like just spike like 3 people, and we'll see them like spike a guy, then spike a guy further down, and then like change to Gus and blow him up. And I'm like, it's so rad,
That is awesome. The spiking thing makes me think of Guardians of the Galaxy when Yondu's like spiking all the people.
Absolute inspiration. Absolute.
That was so cool. You can tell it's a good new gun because as soon as I had it, I kind of forgot to I could switch to any other.
Yeah.
You just then you could swap to Gus. I'm like, oh yeah, I could have done that.
That's a constant conversation we're having, because it's like, okay, well, we want players to swap weapons, but we're also like, they're your companions and have a personality. So we're like, if you like the gun's personality, you should be able to just like use it. So we have like a lot of discussions about like, how do we like make a player switch, but not in a way that they're like, no, like I want to play as this gun,
Definitely. And the other new addition in the demo was Richard Kind as the Senator character. Again, talk to me about how'd you go about getting like a legendary actor like that to be in your game?
Yeah, so Alec, our narrative director, and Mikey, they were watching an interview with him, and he was like, people call me, I'll do anything. And we're like, well, I guess we'll try. And like, seriously, the moment his VO went in the game, it's like that whole character changed. He's absolutely incredible. The amount of improvising you do, if you're watching his speech and you hear him, he starts singing, like, he just seems to like totally get it,
With either of them, like when you go to someone like Ralph Ineson and you're having to explain it. So in this scene, they're going to like knife your face off and then put it in a gun. Was there any moment when he's like, wait, what am I doing here?
Apparently, so I wasn't personally in the session, but all I heard was that he was just down for everything. So, and it was like an amazing sport, and just like, there's that like really just like straight man quality, but then like you can tell there's like a winking edge to it, right?
Yeah. Are there any other new cast members that you're allowed to talk about at the moment?
So let's see. Tim Robinson's coming back. I think we've already revealed most of the guns in the trailer. So we have Travis and Jan, who are dual pistols. Jan is played by Gabrielle Sidibe. Travis is played by Ken Marino. We have Bowie, who's played by Frankie Quinones. Bringing Let's Do It back. Yeah, Creature, Tim Robinson's coming back. Who am I missing? I don't know. There's a lot. We got a lot in this game. I'm like trying to remember it all.
That's awesome. And what can you kind of tease about the story, the setup this time around? Because
Sure.
the first one was quite contained and kind of complete at the end.
Absolutely. So this one, it's sort of hearkening back to the beginning of the first one, where you're at the end of high school. You're kind of a disillusioned high school student. You're not sure what comes next in your life. This one, you've actually become this famous bounty hunter, but you're living this life of excess, and you're kind of like becoming disillusioned again, right? Like, what am I doing with my life? Does it have any purpose? And while that's happening, your sister has joined a underground group called the Bleeding Stars, and they're investigating this conspiracy where there's this giant sort of like megacorp pharmaceutical company called Ria Pharma, and they're trying to legalize humans as drugs in pill form called Humanzapro. So we actually have some of that commercial that we made played at the beginning of our announced trailer, but we have a lot more of that. And so one day a bounty comes up and it's your sister, and you're like, okay, well, I gotta go get there first and see what's happening, make sure she's okay, and potentially see what's going on, and you get wrapped up in the whole conspiracy and become an outlaw yourself. So then you're operating underground and working with Gene and Lizzie and the Bleeding Stars in order to take down these like shadowy figures that the pharmaceutical company has hired, like Senator Muffy Doo, in order to like get this legislation passed.
The level we just played with Senator Muffy Doo is such like because it's like set at
Planet of Conventions.
Con.
It's called.
The perfect place to be. Talk to me about having that idea and then building it out, like landing in Parking Con at the start? Like,
Oh, I mean, like, this is one of the ideas the team just, like, went absolutely nuts on, right? Like, okay, once we knew, okay, we're going to do a planet full of conventions, it's like, okay, we're going to have, like, Camera Con and, like, Lanyard Con, right? And Microphone Con. Like, it could literally be anything, right? So we have, like, the main cons, like Human Con, Polycon, and everything, but we also have, like, little ones you can find, like Hall H Con, right? It's like there's a Hall H at every convention. There's Pool Con, which is perfect, and it collides with Rail Con, so then it's like, oh, how convenient, I have pools and rails for my skateboard, right? Like, so it's just like a never-ending creativity at the studio.
that's awesome. And then I enjoyed the MurderCon Battle Royale.
Yes.
segment. And then it was like, actually, that wasn't the boss battle you were meant to be doing at this
Yeah,
point.
I know there's like 3 bosses in that level. We're like, okay, we gotta like only show 2 bosses for this level, but that one is super fun, and like we really wanted to highlight Knifey, right? And Knifey's just like, oh, this is the greatest place you've ever brought me, you know?
So good. And then I think there's clips of this already out there, but at the end of the level when you're suddenly talking about Noah's Bible adventure.
Yes.
How does that end up in the game?
So, you know, the first game we had all the movies,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was such a big hit that we thought, okay, well, we're going to bring more movies back, but what can we do to top that? And we're like, well, we're a game studio. Let's license some old games and see if we can get them in the game. And Mikey was like, first choice, Bible adventure. And, you know, our first choice, we're always like, there's no way we're going to get it. And then Ben Moore, our biz dev director, was like, within a week, he was like, hey guys, I got the license to Bible adventures. We were like, no, come on, man. And so, you know, as the evolution in the level happened, it actually got integrated into the Muppy-Doo boss fight. But you can collect these Jamba boards throughout the game and then play them on arcade cabinets in your headquarters in the game. So there's not a ton of people have found it, but in MurderCon, in the little Bounty Juice lounge, there's an arcade cabinet. You can play Radical Rex in there.
Nice,
So
yeah.
we're trying to like hint at it too, you know?
That is so cool. And is the game of a similar kind of size and scope of the first one, or is it kind of aiming to be longer and bigger?
We're trying to, you know, my perspective, and I think a lot of the team's perspective, is like good comedy, like it gets in and gets out, right?
Yeah,
You get like
yeah.
a 70-minute, 80-minute, 90-minute movie is like the perfect
Yeah.
length. So we're going a little bit longer. I think the first game we were like 8 to 12 for Crit Path. This one I think we're aiming more towards like the 14 to 16. And then we're trying to add a lot of side content where it's more opt-in if you want to like continue exploring the world.
Awesome. And would you have any tips or tricks or things to players when you check this game out, make sure that you remember this and do this? Or?
That's a good question. I mean, you know, I think we all love another game that obviously has a very has similar traversal in common. Like we all are just huge fans of Titanfall 2. Like, oh my God, that game is so incredible. I mean, not just for like the actual traversal and everything, I mean, which is incredible, but like the level design is so unique and incredible. And that's the type of stuff that we're just trying to do, right? Is like the what if we did, yes we can, like how do we do it? So, I mean, love that game. We've heard a couple people compare it to Mirror's Edge, which is like a wonderful compliment because I especially played the hell out of Mirror's Edge 2. Let's see, what else? Play the first High on Life, play the DLC. Definitely the DLC, you know, because it's a pretty short experience. There's some really good gags in there. We have a Cheers gag that's like especially awesome in my opinion. In the power slide across the world, and actually the boss fight, we kind of have this like body horror thing going on. In the boss fight there, so definitely check that out too.
Nice. And in the new game, is there anything where there's like Easter eggs you're desperate for people to find, or things you want to like point people to, or is the fun more to just sort of set people loose?
The Radical Rex thing is
Yeah.
definitely huge, you know, like try to find all the game boards. We have a ton, one of the really exciting things is, you know, we're a comedy game studio, we do game jams a lot, and our most recent game jam, so in the first game, Blim City is kind of like a smaller hub. We have like 3 pretty big hubs in this game, so we're like, oh my God, how are we gonna fill out on this content? So we had game jam, and team members made like a disc golf, like Gatlian, where it's like has a face, and so we have a whole disc golf game that you can play. Fishing, there's like, I don't know if this made it in, but there was like a supermarket sweep game jam that was pretty ridiculous. We have a ton of other stuff too that I don't want to spoil yet, but especially around the skateboard in the hubs.
Awesome. And you guys confirmed the date the other night,
Yep.
right?
Friday, February 13th, 2026.
Just in time for Valentine's.
Exactly, right?
Perfect.
Your Friday the 13th and your Valentine's all in one neat package.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to play more of it. Thank you so much
Thank
for taking
you.
the time.
Radio Times does gaming.
Thank you for listening to the Radio Times Gaming Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the pod and share it with a friend, won't you? Please. We'll see you next time.